We invested $250,000 to set that gym up. I didn't want to scrimp. People are paying us good money. I believe the way a gym looks in today's market, if you're charging £300 a month, you have to make sure the gym looks good within your budget.
On this episode, we have Gavin Denning from GWD Performance. Now, Gav has been with us for a number of years, and when we first met Gavin, he was a one-to-one personal trainer, renting space inside a gym, and now he's opened his own facility. He's got over 260 active recurring members, paying on average £200 a month.
Like, there are people that say, oh, PT is the pinnacle. No, it's not. You're doing the industry a disservice because not everyone can afford to have 3 PT sessions a week.
Gavin is absolutely smashing it, and in this podcast we run through exactly what he's done to get to the level where he is today.
I've had the opportunity to borrow that $150,000 bounce back loans. I'm still paying that back now, but it's easily affordable within the business costs. The pre-launch, and we were still building the gym.
When it was an empty shell, when you were signing up people into the service.
We went big on the ad spend. They're the biggest we've ever done. Like, out of 100 trialists, pretty much all of them stayed on after the trial. We invested properly.
We hope you enjoyed the episode. Gavin, why did you get into the industry and why are you still here?
I got into the industry. I think I'd always been sporty at school. Like, played for all the teams I could. I always enjoyed sport, and it almost was just like a natural progression. I started out as a builder. My family are in building trade, and I was playing rugby and doing that at the same time. And I used to have people asking me to train them at my gym. I was in pretty good shape, and I thought, well, why don't I just do this as a career? Got a PT course or got on a PT course and never looked back, really.
You've been an FMA member for over 3+ years now. Can you just tell everyone who's watching and listening what the business model is now, price point, team, number of clients?
So our model is based around small group personal training. We have 263 full members with about 18 trialists at the minute. The price point for our small group ranges from $199 to $327, and we also have a larger group offering, which is $109 to $139.
And this business this model and this business didn't actually exist until a number of years ago. So when we first met, you were just one-to-one PT, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was. And what was the situation? What was the setup then?
So I think I joined you in 2018, August, I think it was.
Must have been nearly 5 years, maybe. Is it?
Yeah, it's nearly 5
yeah.
years.
You know why I said that? Because location number 2 is
3 years old.
2 years.
2 years old.
2 years,
I got
just
my dates
over.
wrong.
Yeah, so I was working as a one-to-one PT in someone else's gym, independent gym, but I also had a corporate wellness program running alongside it, which I think made me a little bit lazy because it was doing pretty well, and I was just comfortable in the gym. And I remember Ben on a few occasions said to me, you need to get your own gym. And I'd almost at that point, I always knew I wanted my own gym, but I was almost a little bit too comfortable and maybe thinking, do I need one at that point when I first joined you guys?
I've been to that gym. I remember it clearly. There's a big unit. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
And when I came and visited you, you had a section, right, where you could just train people, and you're doing some group at that point as well.
Yeah, we did a bit of small group when I first joined you guys. We was doing some small group, or we was just transitioning into doing that.
And what was the defining moment when you decided, actually, I want to go out and have my own gym? Obviously, things were comfortable, things were pretty good, you were making all right money, and there's a lot of pros to having a gym, but also potentially a lot of cons. So what was the moment you decided to take that leap?
So it was pre-COVID, obviously. I think the corporate was doing pretty well, and I was like, right, I'm not putting the effort into the gym side of things that I should be. So I almost needed that scarce, what's the word? So the gym was doing okay, but it wasn't doing as well as it could have been. And I think I needed a kick up my arse, if I'm honest. So I thought, right, we need to find our own facility. And also Ryan, we'd taken on another coach at that point. He was doing some of our corporate work, and then he came on as a coach. So we started looking, and we found somewhere just before COVID.
And things went from being very comfortable by the sounds of it to the complete opposite, maybe in a number of months, because you secured the lease, things were moving in a good direction. And now obviously there's pressure in a normal situation of when you are getting the gym, but things like the timing for your gym, ultimately it worked out very well, but at the time it probably felt like it wasn't the best timing. It'd be good to kind of dive into what happened there.
Yeah, so we found this gym in January 2020, and made the decision that we were going to take the gym. So sat down with the owners. We had to present them a business plan of what we were going to be doing with the facility, because as you guys will know better than anyone, a lot of landlords don't like gyms coming into their properties because they typically fail, a lot of them. So we presented this business plan, things were moving along, and then COVID hit.
In the March,
yeah, it was like...
Had you signed the lease at this point?
We hadn't signed the lease, luckily. So we'd agreed it, but nothing was signed, so there was no financial commitment from us. If there was at that point, we probably would have been out of business now. We wouldn't be here.
And then at that point, fortunately you hadn't signed the lease, but you still decided to press forward and still find investment and really kind of go all in on the gym. What was at that time, it could have been a great time to back away and not continue. What was your thought process in deciding to actually press on forward in a very uncertain time?
Well, at one point I thought that was it, done. I thought, right, I felt like the unluckiest man in the world. If I'm honest, during COVID, I was probably a little bit depressed. A tiny bit, because I thought I'd got this gym, my dream of having a gym was there, and then all of a sudden it was snatched away. And in that moment you were sort of thinking, well, that's it, it's done. I spoke to one of my mentors who actually helped me build the gym. He gave me a lot of help in like getting steel workers in to build mezzanine, and he pretty much took the building on for me, like the building work. And he said, look, things are going to get back to normal. Just keep pressing ahead. And that one conversation switched everything. I thought, you know what, he's right. Let's keep going. So we just pressed ahead with it.
It's so interesting how in comfortable times, typically the work ethic or work rate is probably a little bit lower. But in those uncomfortable times when your back's against the wall, that's when things really get cranked up and kind of the work gets started.
It's that famous saying, when the tide goes out, you see who's swimming naked. And that's what actually happened in the fitness industry. So many people... were just comfortable. They weren't pushing forwards. They weren't striving to achieve greatness in their business or impact more people's lives. And the tide went out, and they got caught out. And like, one thing I admire about you is, regardless of like the COVID situation, you continued to press forwards and open the gym, which was pretty impressive.
Yeah,
I think as well, like the work ethic that came out at that point, and as kind of our relationship develops, I just saw someone who just didn't take no for an answer. So every time there was a potential delay with the gym or the construction, that wasn't really a possibility for you. You kept on pushing through. And would you say it was that conversation that is with your mentor that has given you that work ethic, or was that something you've always had, or where do you think that comes from?
I think the work ethic comes from my dad. Hard worker. I had a paper round when I was 13. I was helping to buy my own clothes at that point. I mean, I don't come from money or anything like that. So I'd had a work ethic instilled into me. Like I had no issues getting up really early to do a paper round for 12 quid or whatever it was a week back then. So the work ethic was in me, and I think it was the pressing ahead was the fear of... I'd seen this gym in my mind's eye. I'd envisioned it. I knew what it was going to be like, and then all of a sudden it was taken away from me. So I was willing to take risks to make that happen. And I had a few different limited companies. I maxed out bounce back loans on every single one, on my accountant's advice as well. And that allowed me to do the gym to a level I just would not have been able to do it to.
How important is it to have that work ethic to get to where you want to go?
I think very important. You will hear a lot of gurus saying, do this, work 3 hours a day, and you can achieve this. Like, they're selling you something that doesn't exist. Any successful business owner that I know, at least, is willing to put the work in. Like, sometimes I could be sending emails at 11 p.m. at night. It's part of running a business. I don't always do it, but I'm willing to put the extra yards in that potentially other business owners are not.
I think it's like incredibly selfish as well. Like gym owners, personal trainers who say, I only work 3 hours a day, 4 hours a day. It's like, well, why? Like, you've got the ability to change so many people's lives, and you're making a decision to be selfish and not put more effort in to help more people. And I think it's a common theme across the industry where people maybe are a little bit work shy. And of course, you don't want to go like to the extreme and get burnt out or disrupt your family life. But like, if you're passionate about this industry, you must, step up, and you must be a leader, and you must like strive to help more people. And on that note, like, there's so many personal trainers right now who've been in industry, 5, 8, 10 years. They're on the gym floor, they're doing one-on-one PT, or they might be doing small group, they're trading time for money, and they have this like desire in their belly to open their own gym rather than paying rent to a big corporate gym, or trading, being a gym instructor for 2-3 days a week and then doing PT the rest. What would you say to them? Like, how can they take inspiration from you to take that leap of faith to go follow their business dreams?
I guess you've got to earn your stripes a little bit, because I started out as a self-employed PT. I had to walk the floor, which I hated, absolutely hated it, but I did it to pick clients up. You've got to go through that, because if you don't go through that, I think when you do get to the point when you're ready to open a gym, you're almost missing some key skills of like having those conversations, going through those tough times.
I remember those days.
Yeah. Walking the floor, honestly, used to give me anxiety.
I used to hang around the lat pull down machine, because everyone would do that wrong.
Yeah.
And then you quit their technique.
And you feel like you're going and spoiling someone's workout. It's like they just want to work out. Mostly they're just polite and say, oh, okay, I'll talk after my workout or whatever. But look, you got to go through that. I think you've got to show compassion to your clients, genuinely give a shit about their results. Like, I saw a post from Nick Mitchell yesterday, who's someone I would look up to in the industry, saying the best coaches, the best PTs genuinely care about getting their guys' results, probably as much as they do, if not more, because it's a reflection of their skills, in my opinion, at least anyway. And if you're passionate and you actually want to get to that point, like, you can do it. It's not as complicated as what some would have you think. It's about putting the work in. Look at other people that are maybe successful in the industry and see what they did, because success leaves clues. We hear that all the time. Generally, the same things will work for you, but it's about putting the work in.
And having that close network. You said your friend was a mentor, guided you and helped you.
Yeah, not in the fitness industry. He's a builder. Like, I just spoke to him and he gave me a bit of a verbal slap over the phone, and said, look, things are going to come back to normal. So just press ahead. But
it's that network, and what, again, we see too often is there's a successful PT or someone who's already taken the leap and opened their gym, but the only people they're listening to is like maybe their spouse, who of course loves them, but is not entrepreneurial minded, is not thinking like an entrepreneur, and is holding them back from greater thinking and greater achievement. Or their friends and their friendship circle, again, is holding them back because they're not thinking like an entrepreneur. So having, that mentor who helped you is massive.
I agree, because look, none of my family own businesses. Not really been influenced by people in my friend circle or family. I've been influenced by like following people in this industry, looking at what they did, going to, like, in the early days, going to Poliquin seminars. Like, they don't really do many seminars like that anymore, which I think that's a shame for the industry, because...
And for anyone who's new in the industry, Charles Poliquin certifications, right?
Yeah, I did a few of those. I met loads of people. I had photos with him. Yeah, he's an actual... I know a lot of people say some negative stuff about him, but
he's a pioneer. Do the course, the biosignature course?
Yeah, I did level 1 and level 2. I remember meeting actually Vince Lombardi on one of the courses, and he wasn't famous then. Now look at him.
Yes,
he's doing pretty well. But yeah, you need to network, I believe. Like, when we go to the FMA masterminds, I always come back energized. I bounce ideas off people. I sometimes come away with a bit of information that I didn't even go there for. And I'm thinking, right, okay, that's a little kick up the arse. I need to refocus and push on again.
The location that you're in right now, so I've been, I don't think you have you? No. So can you just talk about the size of the unit, and then obviously you put that mezzanine floor in it as well. You've got a number of different rooms. We'll flash up some footage for the YouTube video of it as you talk through it. So let's imagine the shutter's down. I walk through the front door. Can you just describe it?
So we walk through the front door. We've got a reception where we have a bit of a protein bar, coffees you can buy, TV up on the wall that has testimonials running and videos from like our GWD games and just stuff we want people to see when they walk in. And then you've got the team training area and large group area as you walk in. So you've got a big red track, loads of space where we run our 1 to 14 large group and 1 to 24 team training sessions, which are more conditioning focused. Nice changing rooms, like nice showers. The showers are better in the gym than they are in my house.
I was impressed when I went there.
Yeah, I didn't want to scrimp.
You didn't. Yeah.
People are paying us good money. I believe, like the way a gym looks in today's market, if you're charging 300 quid a month, you have to make sure the gym looks good within your budget. Obviously, there's
Quick question: what's the usage on those showers? So this is really coming from someone who's about to open a gym, or they didn't install showers. Should they do it?
Definitely, because some people want to use them, and you will 100% have people join your gym based on how your changing rooms look. I've looked at all the data from this, huge studies. People will leave on cleanliness, and people will join on cleanliness as well. There are some people that like, even if the training's brilliant, if your gym's dirty, they're going to leave you. So you need to make sure these things are ticked off.
I think sometimes it's the small things that you don't necessarily think about as a business owner that get picked up by the consumer, things that you don't think are that bad. It's those small differences that really create a big impact.
Zoe on the FMA team, her family live close to your gym, and I think next time she goes back, I'm going to send her with a camera to go film your toilets and showers, because we didn't do that when we were there 2 years ago.
Yeah, well, they're 2 years old now, but they still look pretty good. My dad's just freshened it up, bit of paint.
So I diverted. So you got the toilets, you got the showers.
Yeah.
Come out of there. Then what's next?
And then you walk to the back of the gym, and we've got our small group PT area. We are now 1 to 6. We used to be 1 to 4. We transitioned to 1 to 6 seamlessly as well. Programming still works brilliantly, so we can have 2 sessions running at once. So 2 coaches with 12 people in that. Then you go upstairs. We've got a classroom where we run PT courses, and when we're not using it for PT courses, the team will work in there. Nice big classroom. Got a screen up if we need to do presentations or for when we're teaching. We've got a yoga room, so we've got a yoga membership we offer as well. And then we've got our Fit 3D room, so we've got a 3D scanner which people get to use as part of the membership. We call it the truth teller. I know Ben's used it at some point as well. It will tell you the truth.
Definitely did.
It tells you where you are. It's just a measurement tool, so we can be a little bit more specific with the guidance, nutrition guidance we give our members. And then we've got 2 therapy rooms. We've got 1 sports therapist on the team. So the idea is down the line we potentially will have 2. And then we've got, obviously my office, a spare studio we're not using. We're looking at how we can use that.
End of the corridor, right?
End of the corridor, yeah. And the size of the gym, it was 3,000 square foot. Now it's about 4.5 with the mezzanine we built.
And roughly, do you know how much that cost to put that mezzanine in?
Well, how much did it cost to invest in the initial gym? Because I know earlier you said you kind of maxed out a lot of loans.
Yeah.
And a lot of people may start small and slowly build up and then use the profits to reinvest and go from there. And it's a slower pathway to get to a level they want to get to. Whereas you, I feel, went in the kind of opposite direction to that, and you went all in initially from the start. So what was your thought process for going all in? Like, you didn't need to, potentially. No. You could have spent significantly less and still grown the business and got it to a level. It would have been a little bit slower. But what was your thought process behind that?
Initially, I was very, very naive with what it would cost to set a gym up. I had this figure in my head. I remember speaking to Millie, who was like a guy who helped me with the building, and saying, "Oh yeah, I'd probably put about 30 grand in of my own money, like with the equipment and everything, and the building work, and because obviously building materials are a lot of money. We invested $250,000 to set that gym up with all the equipment, because it was post-COVID. We had to buy the equipment because no one was lending to gyms. So normally you can lease equipment. We couldn't do that.
Well, what you just said is crucial, and what you said it backs it up, is that we know of gym owners that have opened up a gym on, say, 10K, 12K, 15K. But then what happens is over the years, they end up topping that up and investing again and investing again and investing again.
Which we've done. We've done with more equipment as well. We have done that.
Yes, that person may turn their gym into that £250,000 gym, but over a longer period of time, But you kind of took the shortcut, if you will.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to borrow that 150,000 bounce back loans, which I looked at it. I was like, this is the cheapest money I'm ever going to borrow. And it still is. I'm still paying that back now, but it's easily affordable within the business costs. And I had some of my own money as well, and I got a bit of help with the building costs. So basically, I don't mind saying this, we run a corporate wellness program for the guy who built my gym. I know I've told Ben about this before. And he did the building work for me. And then when I said to him, like, how do we pay you? He's like, just offset it against the corporate wellness costs. So we're working that off basically, and we've nearly worked it off now.
Yeah, but
so
it's like it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah.
And it's every interaction that you have with someone, you can potentially help them, they can potentially help you. So this guy, where did you first meet him? On the gym floor?
One-to-one PT.
Exactly. So those relationships, because you gave a shit and you got him results and you kept that relationship for 15 years?
Yeah, not far off, about 8 years, 9 years now we've known him.
And he's invested in you, you're invested in him,
Yeah.
and he's helped you out, and I'm sure you're helping him out as well.
Yeah, he's a very good guy, clearly. He didn't come from money or anything like that. I think even like 5-6 years ago, pre-COVID, he used to say to me, do you ever want to set your own gym up? He goes, I'll help if you want. And I used to say, no, I want to do it on my own. And I think he sort of respected that. And then when it came to it, I asked for his advice on the unit. And then, he gave me a leg up. He's pay it forward. Would you say the term is? He's a very successful man that comes from nothing. And he's gave me a leg up, basically.
Let's go back to that gym tour. Many people watching or listening to this will be interested in the layout downstairs. So potentially you have one coach coaching 12 people, right, for a large group? Is that
it's 14.
Cool. So that's happening, let's say 6 p.m. on a Monday night.
Yeah.
And then at the back, you've got 2 coaches taking another 12, but split 6 and 6.
Yeah.
So in that large group, can you just explain the programming? What's going on with that one coach and the 14 individuals that are there?
So with the programming is similar to the small group, but obviously it's slightly different because with the larger group, there's one coach. So it's more of a circuit-based, like resistance-based session. So the large group, the programming is similar to the small group, but we wanted to create something that people could still get good programming, get resistance-based coaching that was available to them if they couldn't quite meet the costs of the small group, because the small group is our most expensive way of training with us. Which is pretty much like personal training. You are being personally trained, but just within a really small group. So the larger group is similar to that. It's a 45-minute session rather than an hour, and there's a coach that's bouncing around making sure people's techniques are right. But the members are sort of leading it as well themselves, because obviously there's 14 with a coach.
I've got MyZone plugged in.
We've got MyZones up on. We've got screens up on the wall, so if the guys have MyZones on, we can see percentage of how hard they're working, calories burned, etc.
And it's cardio with strength training mixed together, or?
Yeah, so we have lift sessions with the large group on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then cardio focus on a Tuesday and Thursday. But that membership also get access to team training, which is 24 with a coach, and that is more circuit based. So like think prowlers, sleds, ropes, air bikes, more conditioning focus, but we always have a focus. It's not aimlessly coming in and smashing yourself. Everything is geared towards our testing week that we run every 13 weeks.
The lifting component, is it just the major compound lifts, or do you go more technical?
So we have the major lifts: squats, deadlifts, push-pull, rotate, lunge patterns. And then there'll be like, the way we set our programming up is probably similar to most gyms. They'll have like the big lifts maybe on the A's and B's, and then some accessory work in the C's.
Every client does deadlift together. You've not got Jenny on back squats, Susan on front squats.
So we'll have like on the large group, you might have A's, deadlifts, B's would be, I don't know, for example, seated shoulder press with a prone row. And then the C's could be something like a lateral raise, split squat, just some accessory work. So there'll be people working on different blocks, and the coach will be going around just giving pointers on technique. The guys will spot each other.
What would you say to anyone in the industry who says, I believe consumers of fitness should have an individual program?
We were speaking about this off the podcast when I was talking about how I'm doing small group personal training and how you don't actually need a PT because you're just cracking on with what they're giving you, and then they're checking in with you, quite frequently while working with all these other people. Where so many people believe that a lot of consumers believe in one-to-ones. One-to-ones believe that one-to-one is more beneficial in some way, which I actually don't think it is based on my experience. But two, that people need like a really personalized individual program. And of course, there may be tweaks or changes to individuals based on their preference, but overall, you don't need to go super bespoke, right?
The answer is it depends. So there could be someone who has a very specific outcome they want to achieve. That one-to-one would work really well for them. And if someone comes to us and we don't feel we can help them, we'd push them on to a one-to-one.
What would those reasons be? Is that injury-based or like maybe they're...
Not so much injury-based. It might not, let's say, because we've got a centralised program in the gym. So every 13 weeks we run a testing week. It might not fit in with the timings for the way that we program. But it's like 0.1% out of 100, like even less.
I personally think if it's a professional athlete, then of course one-on-one, but most of them are contracted to a team or an organisation where they've got all that supplied anyway. If it's a semi-pro athlete, then of course, give or take. If someone's got a severe disease or injury or illness, of course. Or it's a celebrity that just needs the exclusivity, A-list, I'm talking Kim Kardashian level, then of course.
Get her involved in the small group.
Yeah, but for most people, they can just do the small group, and it's the community element, right?
Yeah.
Well.
So look, there are people that say, "Oh, PT is the pinnacle." No, it's not. It's not, because you're doing the industry a disservice, because not everyone can afford to have 3 PT sessions a week, because you're talking that's £200 plus per week with a good PT. Whereas if you half the cost of PT, most people can probably afford, well, not most, but some people can afford £300 per month. And that would give them free PT sessions. Yes, you're working in a small group, but the way we program, he has to think of so many different factors to make sure he's catering for so many different types of people. Yes, we work with general population, but his programming is on point. He's a very, very good coach.
You've got a couple of team members where I wasn't aware that they're actually directors, but just from meeting them, they feel like they are the owners of the business along with you. Like that's the sort of sense I get of a lot of the team members there, but they're really, really bought into what you guys are doing. How is it you've got those people to be like so on board that they kind of have that ownership mentality? And of course, one of them's a director, so that makes complete sense. Yeah. But with the other team members, like how do you get them to that level?
First and foremost, I'm still learning this, because I was even listening to a book on the way here called How to Be a Good Boss, which is the guy who wrote Traction. Forgot his name. But I think you've got to empower your team to make decisions, make them have ownership within the business as well. We don't want robots. We want people to make decisions and live and die by those decisions. But you've got to make them feel a part of the team. Like things like we give bonuses. I say from the off to the guys, look, if we grow, you grow. This is not like me taking loads of profit out of the business and you guys not getting any. Based on targets, based on performance, based on being a good team member, our guys get rewarded for that. So I guess it's like, if you're in this industry, you're almost going to be a little bit more motivated, I would say, to want to do a good job. Like going back to what Nick Mitchell said, you want your guys to get results. So I think it's probably a little mixture of the fact that we're getting passionate coaches in. Like when we hire people, remember the first time we ran an interview day, never done it before. We'd sat and spoke about the guys that come through the interview. We could see that they could coach. And if I'm being completely honest with you, one of the main things for me, if I'm sitting down and having an interview with someone, it's like, could I go for a beer with that person? Because the rest we can teach them. If they're qualified and they're good around people, the rest can be taught. Like that's a an important one for me. And I guess that makes it pretty easy that they're going to be good people. And if they're good people, that's what matters.
You work out together?
We all work out at the same time, yeah.
Daily or?
The boys are pretty on it, like five days a week in the gym, everyone's training.
And then so many gym owners run the model of, hey, this is my gym. You can come in and rent space like you're a hairdresser or a lap dancer. Why did you not go down that model of self-employed coaches working inside your gym? And if someone's in that position right now, why should they switch to your model, which is employee pay? Why should they switch to your model, which is employee?
Like, in my opinion, having had both, like, you have to bring them onto the team, make them an employee. They're not really on your team if they're self-employed. Yes, they might be exclusive to you, but there's nothing stopping them leaving next week. They don't really have to give you any notice. They can take holiday when they want to take holiday. If you bring them into the team and say, obviously, you're going to agree an amount, you're going to pay them, give them like KPIs to hit, give them potential bonuses, they're going to be a team member, as opposed to like with the 1 foot in the door, 1 foot out, which I believe is what self-employed coaches have. Not because they want to, but there's no real security for them either.
From a leadership perspective, what is the biggest mistake you think you've made so far?
Sometimes expecting that people should know what they're doing. Not in a bad way, as in like I should be leading them. There's things that sometimes you can, as an owner, you think, oh, why have they not done that? And then when you look at it closely, it's like you haven't shown them. You haven't coached these people on how to do it. So there's nothing major, I would say, but I feel I'm always trying to be a better leader. I think I need to do a lot of work on that, and I'm human, so just trying.
Going back to the team cadence of the weekly meeting, you're working out every day. What social element is there
for
the team? Is it scheduled? Is it like off the cuff?
So we do a monthly team workout. So we're training there all the time, but people are doing their own programs or whatever. And then we have a monthly team, so all the team train together. We'll go out for some food. We've been doing a lot of fitness competitions recently as a gym. We normally tie that in with a bit of a social as well. So we've got our next one, Affex in Birmingham. So we've got a night out after that in Birmingham. Just some food, a bit of a get-together.
Team and clients or just team?
Well, there's team and clients in it. So we might go out as a team, and then I'm sure the clients will tag along later on. But yeah.
A big question that I'm sure many will be hoping that I ask is 261 clients and 18 on trial?
263.
63, 18 on trial. How are you tracking these people? Because I'm sure when you had 50 clients and below, you knew everyone's first names, everyone's last names, you knew their dogs, their cats, their kids. Must be impossible now.
Almost, but I think I know every single member's name now. It's just, people ask me, how do you remember everyone's name? And it's like, well, I take the time to learn it. You can know 260 people's names. Like there's a few people now, because we are getting so busy, that new people sign up, and I know because I'm the salesman now, I'm making all the sales, so I know roughly who that person's going to be. But there are the odd occasion now where I don't know that person, but I'll just look on the booking system, look in the session, and then law of deduction. Yes, that person.
What booking system are you using?
Kooks we use.
With the tracking, is there anything with nutrition for the clients?
Yeah, so we obviously have the Fit3D scanner. So this allows us to be very specific with the nutrition guidance we give them. We're not giving anything groundbreaking. It's just like, right, okay, here's a rough calories where you want to be. We base it around precision nutrition. So we've got a couple of our coaches are qualified with precision nutrition. Really simplifies things. If you look back over the years, I think us in the fitness industry have overcomplicated nutrition, and it just bombards members. They just get mind blown by it. So you need to keep it as simple as possible unless they ask for more. So we use precision nutrition. There's a really good PDF we can set up and send out to them, and it gives them the basics of what they need to do. We've got a membership site, loads of resources they can get if they need them.
And how often are clients jumping on the machine for the scan?
Once a month.
Mandatory or optional?
It's optional. We don't push it. No. Because not everyone cares about body composition. They might just want to come in and get fit. And I think fitness shouldn't all be about body composition and how you look. It should be about feeling better, how you move.
So there's tons of ways to obviously find out body composition. You know, old school Poliquin with the
I used to do
clippers versus the machine that you have now, which was a significant investment.
Yeah.
Why did you go with that machine? I'm sure you know of the others, and have you seen a return from it? And what typically do clients say when they experience it for the first time? And then I'm sure there's people that do it more frequently.
It can be a bit of an eye-opener for some people. They're like, wow, that has really made me want to make some changes. As I said earlier, we call it the truth teller. So DEXA bought the company out, Fit3D. We all know what DEXA scanner is. I don't think the measurements were too far away from a DEXA scanner. They all have an percentage error in them. None of them are 100% exact. The only thing 100% exact is having a post-mortem, and none of us want that. So I think some people, when they use it to its best ability, some of our members like really can hone down on what they need to get the improvements they want to make. But for most people, it's just to see where they're at, really.
So let's circle back to the kind of stage of where you're opening the gym. You got the investment, you're building out the gym, and then you're moving into opening and launching. Now, we helped you with the pre-launch, and we got, I think it was 100 trialists through the door beforehand. And it's so important if you're opening a gym, you want to be breaking even or profitable as soon as possible for when those doors are open. And can we just like run through that process briefly of what that looked like? How long of a window did you take from kind of opening the doors in terms of marketing and getting those people through, and just run through that process?
Yeah, so the pre-launch, we were still building the gym at that time.
And that's a crucial thing there as well, because people assume that the gym needs to be ready before you can start selling memberships, when it was an empty shell when you were signing up people into the service at a premium rate already. So you didn't actually have a gym to show people, and people still parted ways with, I think it was £200 for a trial.
At that point, it was 179.
Okay, yeah.
Now it's 197.
And without even having a gym to show, people still purchased.
It would be awesome if you could send us some mobile phone footage of the shell.
Yeah,
and we can whack it over and overlay and show people what it looked like. Because I remember seeing it versus what it is now, and it's unbelievable.
Yeah, I'll send it over to you.
Well, I'm pretty sure the ads we ran were actually you in the...
That's right.
Yeah, it was
in
you.
The shell.
It was you in the shell, like signing the lease. You had the truck there, like popping the champagne, and it was the fact that there was going to be a gym there. And people, there's a reason why people bought it. It wasn't, although the gym looks amazing, it wasn't for the gym necessarily.
No, I think we had a bit of a presence in that area, so people sort of knew who we was, and I think there was no gym in that, not like ours anyway, in that area. So it was like a new thing coming. I think we nailed the marketing. We were talking about what we were going to be doing, what we were going to be bringing, Facebook Lives all the time. And then at that point, I think we went big on the spend, on the ad spend, which we did the biggest we'd ever done. Because I think at that time, I had a few conversations with you guys. You was like, this is a gym launch now. You've got one crack at doing this properly. So we invested properly.
And we drove people to a landing page to opt in, first name, email and phone number.
Yes.
And in return, they got a PDF document. And then from that, they were taken to book a call, or did you just call them? I can't remember.
I think it was a mixture of both, but I was just calling them. I was basically almost site manager, making sure everyone was doing what they should be doing, even though I didn't know what they should be doing for the building. And I was just sat in my truck calling. So I was outside the gym. I had no office or anything like that. We're just doing it in my truck.
Did you take deposit, or did you take full payment there?
Full payment for the trial there and then. So
even though the gym didn't open maybe like 3, 4, 6 weeks?
Well, it was delayed a couple of weeks. So when we thought we were going to open, we had to delay it 2 weeks. But my friends in building at the time were like, he's never going to open on time. So, and they were surprised we opened only 2 weeks late. So I said, you did well, to be fair.
And so you did a couple of things. One was the sort of organic documentation of the gym being built from the moment you got the lease and just showing people. And I think that's such an important thing to do for anyone that's opening a gym. Just show people the progress, and people are really interested to see that sort of thing, the before and after of what that gym is. And then you had the Facebook launch, and you mentioned there that you decided to go big in terms of the ad spend. And just to go back to that, I might not have this 100% correct, but when you launch a rocket, the majority of the fuel is used to get the thing off the ground. And if any nerds out there, if I've got that wrong, I apologise.
I think you got it right.
It is right.
Right. Okay,
Yeah,
great. Yes, the majority of the fuel is used to launch. And it's the same with the gym. You really want to go big to get that momentum going in, because it's not just 100 members through the door. It's 100 people to serve who then can tell their friends and have that word of mouth effect. So it's so important to get those people and get that momentum going.
But a personal trainer, coach, gymowner might say, oh, I want to grow slowly so I don't lose anyone, don't get a bad reputation. But your team were dialed in terms of the product and service. So they knew exactly what to do. You didn't have to figure that out as you went. I'm sure it's evolved, but you knew exactly what you were doing on.
Yeah, there was only 3 of us at that point. So it was me, Joe and Ryan, and like fair play to those boys. At the time, I was a salesman, I was coaching. We were working mad hours for that first month or so. It was like zombie hours. Open at 6, shutting at 8. 3 of us. There was just 3 of us. That was it.
And I think your conversion rate of those 100 trials was super high. What was the percentage at the end of it?
I think we out of 100 trialists, pretty much all of them, bar a couple, stayed on after the trial.
That's amazing.
So we was in a position which I could never have imagined, to be honest. We were straight in the black straight away.
And now your process is front end sale to a 30-day trial, convert into membership. And what's your conversion rate from trial to back end now?
So this month, so far, we're nearly at 100%. It's been a crazy month.
That's
but
amazing.
Last month was our worst ever, which was 40%. We've never had that low, but we only had 4 or 5 people to sell to because we had no ads on. So
I gotcha.
You've got to look at it. What we've realised is when we have more sales, you get a nucleus of people joining together. They almost have camaraderie with the new guy straight away, and we have a higher conversion. But our average is around 85%, so it's high.
Yeah, that's a really high percentage.
I get messages from other FMA guys asking, how is it so high?
Well, yeah, and the question here is how? How is it so high?
Comes back to doing a good, first and foremost, product has to be good. If your product's not good, it will show in your conversions. So I know our product's good, and we're always looking to refine it, and we are always refining it. You got to have a really good community, in my opinion, which we do have. Genuinely care about what your members are up to, what they're doing. We have guys that, this is their release, this is where they come to. It's not just about the training. It's about what experience are they getting when they come in. Is it a safe environment for them? We have members calling it their second home, and they put posts out, and we're not asking them to do it. I put a post on the FMA group, I think a week or so ago, about a new member asking a question. What's the gym like? I'm just starting. I'm really nervous. And we ended up with 80 responses from members with no coaches. We waited a few days, then we replied.
I think it comes down to what you said right at the start of this podcast. And as the leader, as the owner of the business, you give a shit.
Yeah.
And then I think that goes down to your coaches. And then that ethos is in the whole brand of what you've created. You live and breathe this industry, and you're super passionate and you work hard. And as a result, you've got 263 members, paying members right now, 18 on trial. And what is capacity? Because I'm sure other people are thinking that as well.
We think we've probably got space for another 20 odd small group, roughly. You have a number as a gym owner, what your capacity is. I don't think there is an exact answer to it. You have to see if things start creaking a little bit.
Earlier, we went through that gym tour. Let's go back upstairs again, because you mentioned a few things, and I'm sure others might be thinking the same. So you mentioned yoga. Mm-hmm. Is that a standalone membership, or is it an add-on, or can anyone do it?
Both. So basically, we have a standalone yoga membership. We've got about 21 or 2 members. It's a bit of a slower grower for us, because we put more, in all honesty, we put more effort into growing the gym side of things because it's more money. So once we fill that, we'll put more focus into the yoga. We think we could probably get up to about 50, 60 members on that. And then we have an option for our members to bolt on yoga as well.
And what's the timetable for yoga?
So the first session is 7 a.m. And it changes on different days, but we've got like a 7 a.m., 10 a.m., 12:15, 6 p.m.
3-4 sessions a day.
Yeah.
Yep. You open Sundays?
No.
Completely shut on Sunday. And then you mentioned the PT cert. So to date, how many consumers have you qualified into personal trainers?
I think it's about 40 now, close to, or coming up for when this course finishes.
And how many sort of personal training courses are you running roughly per year?
3. This will be, once we do the third one this year, last year we did 2 because we only started last year.
And they come into your gym on a Sunday?
Saturday.
They do on a Saturday, so completely shut on a Sunday?
Yeah, completely shut. We need some time off. Saturday they come in like mid-morning, and the good thing is like they come in just as one of the team sessions is on. They get to see the buzz of the gym, and we constantly hear from like the students saying, "Oh my God, what a buzz," as they walk in, and it almost inspires them a little bit because I chat with them and say, "Look, I started out as just a normal PT, and now I've got a team of 7. We're running PT courses. We're looking for a second facility, and I started doing a PT course just like you. So where you want to go in this industry is up to you."
What year did you join the industry?
2007, I think I got a or 8 PT course.
Who did you qualify with?
Premier.
Same.
Yeah. Premier, look, they were good back in the day. It was like, it's very different now. The world has changed. The PT landscape has changed. I had to do an in-person course. There was no online courses now, which is one of the reasons why we made our course an in-person course. I believe you can learn to be a PT online, but you're going to be a good PT if you've never coached anyone. I don't understand it. And I know there's people out there that do it. Fair play to them if they can produce good PTs. I feel you need an in-person element as well.
Twice in this podcast interview, you've mentioned I'm a salesman, sales. And hats off 100%. Like, you have smashed it with sales. So there's a mindset element going on here with people potentially listening to this who think, I didn't get into this industry to sell. I want to be a gym owner and I want to coach people on the gym floor. Or sales is icky. I don't like selling. I want people just to turn up and do a 2-week free trial and hope, fingers crossed, that they convert. You've gone headfirst into sales. You're proud of it, and it's what's built your company to date. So can you just give some insight into your sales process and then your own mentality around sales?
So I think I've gone through that where I'm like, I don't really want to be a salesman. This is not what I signed up to, but I want to impact as many people as possible. And I know if we've got multiple gyms and we can reproduce the community we've got at Gym 1, then I'm going to leave a legacy. That's what our gyms are going to do. They're going to leave a legacy. And in order for us to do that, you have to sell people. You're providing a service to them. There's nothing dirty about sales. Like, if you don't like sales or you don't enjoy money, you shouldn't be in business. And it's not about the money. The money is a byproduct of doing a good job. That's what comes to people in who have good businesses. But if you're providing a service where you're changing people's lives, which we are, I know that sounds very cheesy, but we are literally changing people's lives, then you're doing them a disservice if you don't get this bit right. You have to be okay making sales. You have to be okay with charging money to your members and clients. Don't be feeling awkward about talking about money, which I did back in the day. That's all gone now. Got a different mindset.
And when you take people through your sales process, so I opt in to your website, I might opt in from a Facebook ad, I might actually walk into your facility. What is the actual sales process?
So we do one call close now, which we learned from you guys. It used to be like you'd bring people in for a consultation. I think that's dying off, if I'm honest now. It's a waste of time. Like, you maybe would sell a few of those people, but you get people cancelling consultations. So we've now gone to a one call close. We call them up, chat with them, find out what the issue is, tell them how we can help, tell them about our program, sign them up. Not everyone signs up there and then. You get the odd person who thinks about it and comes back to you, but if they go away to think about it, they're not going to sign up in most cases. So it's about doing your job on the phone and covering the objections and saying to Mary or whoever it may be, you've just said you're not living the life you want to live, and this investment is going to allow you to get out of that. We can help you. So there's nothing, I don't feel any issues with pushing people a little bit ethically on the phone.
You should add to this. So we see so many gyms run a Facebook ad to a landing page, get the person to opt in, which is fantastic. They're not FMA clients, and then they push them to a payment page. And then we also see gyms run some Facebook ads, again, not FMA members, and then they push people to, hey, come and book a 1 hour consultation. Charlie, based on what Gavin's doing right now and what you said, why the consultation is like a dying breed, you should give your insights on the conversations you've had.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're a low-cost gym charging under £50 a month, I would never recommend having a payment page to go to, especially if you're running a thing like a Facebook ad, because when running an advertisement, you're interrupting someone's experience. You're not proactively looking for the solution right there, but you are presenting the solution and you're kind of interrupting their experience. When they come and opt in, it's very unlikely they're just going to get out their credit card after clicking on an ad and entering their info. And also, if you're in the model like Gavin is and it's the coach-led space, you should definitely start with a conversation. It's kind of alien to have a website that's opted into a page and then the coaching experience starts. Like, start the process, start that coaching process from when they opt in and take them through that, because it's one, a sales call, but two, it's understanding who they are, what they need help with, and based on that information, when you do sign them up, you now know exactly how you can help them, and then you can tweak things here or there and give them the adjustments that they need.
And also, because I think there's confusion. People think you don't even do a consultation. Yeah, when they come in the gym
afterwards. Yeah, I had someone
and
say,
they paid.
Yes, they've paid. They're coming in. They're going to get a very high level of coaching.
I had someone say this, like, yeah, our consultation process is so good. I just need everyone to go because it brings the value. It's like, absolutely, do it afterwards.
Yeah, you're getting the consultation. We're going to take you through a movement assessment. Your coach is going to establish goals with you. You're going to do your Fit 3D scan. We're going to go through everything that you need to do in this first couple of days. So yes, you are getting that, but after they've signed up. Yeah. Why do it before they've signed up?
Roughly how long is this one call close phone call with a prospective client? And then just to recap, how much are you charging their card over the phone?
So the calls average about 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. Some are rapid, some are longer. You might get into a conversation with someone. The trial program is 197, so we'll charge that on their phone. Or sometimes they might want to come in. You generally get an older client, like older by in the 50s maybe, might want to pop and see the gym. Fine, come in. Because if they're coming in, I know that we've got a very good chance we're going to sign them up. So you do get that as well, but
it's so easy to take payment over the phone now, easier than it's ever been before. I was speaking to Ronan in Dublin, and he just sends over a link while on the phone to a Stripe page that's got 2 taps with Apple Pay. Done. It's so simple to get payment.
I don't send the link. I just open the app on my phone while I'm on the phone
and just
on
get
another
take
app
the info
and just tap it in.
Yeah,
charge card.
It's so easy.
Very, very easy.
You said 15 minutes, £200 in your business bank account. That is a very short space of time to then get that reward at the end in terms of the money, and obviously the client's going to get the experience and the results as well. Why is it so quick and efficient?
Because in this industry, and anyone who's in this industry will know this is very true, people change their mind like this. So you need to be speaking to these people very quickly and getting them signed up quickly while they have that little spark of motivation. Because motivation comes and goes. People will, every January, new year, new me, right, I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. April, they haven't done anything still because people don't act. So you have to act for them. So if they're getting in touch with you and asking for help, my job is to act very quickly and get them in, because I know once they come in and they do our trial, we've got an 85 to 90% conversion rate. So we're clearly doing something right. We've got over 100 video testimonials. We've got nearly 100 5-star Google reviews. I know we do a good job, and that's not being big-headed. We put a lot of work in to make sure we do a good job. So I know if I can get them in, I'm pretty sure we're going to give them value for money.
What's the recent or most common objection you've had recently, and then how are you overcoming that?
What's the main one? Well, it's mainly money, to be honest. We're not the cheapest. Like, some people genuinely can't afford it. They don't understand what type of gym we are, and they'll say, its cost is a big issue for me. And I'm just honest straight away and say, look, we're not the cheapest gym. We're a coaching facility. There's plenty of those type of gyms out there. We are very different from that. And I sort of separate us from that straight away. Sometimes people go, I'll have the call and have a chat, and they've signed up because they didn't know what they wanted. Like if people wanted just 24-hour gyms, there's dozens of them around. People don't know what they need. You have to educate them on what they need. So I guess, I don't know if it's covering an objection, but it's almost, I've got no issues of being upfront and honest and saying, look, we're not the cheapest gym.
But we're also the best.
Well, yeah, I believe we're one of them.
And so many consumers think a gym is like a leisure centre with 20 treadmills, 20 rows, 20 bikes, and that's what they think. And of course, the industry has evolved to more coach-led facilities like yourself, and they don't understand why you are £200 or 197, and they don't understand what coaching is. And I truly believe if someone's actually got a job, most people can afford 197 a month. They just think they can't afford it because they're spending excess money on cigarettes, alcohol, takeaways, meals out, social things that they probably don't need to go to, subscriptions to XYZ apps or TV stations. And you know what you're selling, yes, it is more expensive than say a £20 a month, low cost gym.
But it should be.
Yeah. But like for most people, they can sell some crap in their house and they can at least pay for like 1 month. Of course, you never say that to them on the phone because that would be totally unprofessional, but it's about changing their idea of what they actually think a gym is and then changing their thought process around actually getting results and getting what they've always desired.
Yeah, I think our job in the small group space and coaching-led facility space is to educate the market on what we do, because people don't know that we are different. They're like, well, I can go and join Pure Gym for £20. Like, I could buy a Fiesta, I could buy a Ferrari. They're both cars. They're not the same.
Let's talk High Rocks. How many of your crew have you taken to High Rocks? Tell me some of the stories that have evolved from that and your affiliation and the impact it's had on the business.
Inside the gym, what's the attrition rate on a monthly basis?
Ever since we've been tracking it properly, it's always below 5%, like way below. It's probably around 2 to 3%. This month is really low. Like we've only got 2 people leaving.
And so very low attrition rate, very high retention rate. A big part of that is the community that you've described, and an aspect of that community is external events around this. And you guys go to a lot of different events. It's Battle Cancer, it's High Rocks.
Broke the record for Battle Cancer.
Oh, did you?
Most from one gym.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
How many?
Nearly 90.
I thought you can say I broke the record competing at myself.
80 or 90. Either way, we broke the record.
Okay, cool.
Amazing.
So most from one gym.
And probably a few other...
You've mentioned ATHEX. What other events have you done?
Well, AFX is coming up. There's quite a few of us doing that. NFG, Turf Games, High Rocks, which is getting really popular now with our guys.
And so you got some quite good, cool stories from High Rocks. It'd be cool to kind of touch on that community aspect. And I'm sure you've had members that never thought they'd ever do a competition before, and now they're coming to High Rocks. They're loving it.
Honestly, that is probably the most rewarding thing for a coach to see. We have got guys, and I'm thinking of particular people in our gym that a year ago, 2 years ago, would never have imagined they would be entering these competitions. They didn't have the confidence to do it. We do in-house competitions that tie in with our testing weeks as well. And I think getting them into that first gives them the confidence to realise they can do it because they're in a very safe environment around people they know. And then we just nudge them, encourage them. Ryan heads that up, the competitions, the external comps. And you just build that buzz. And people have FOMO. People don't want to miss these competitions. So I think for the next London one, I think we've got over 30 at the minute. I think we'll end up with 40 odd for London, November. But I think external competitions are a great way to show your members actually what they've achieved in a competition outside your gym. Great for retention as well, because you're giving your guys something to work towards, because things can get stale in a gym. And we put a lot of posts out about this. We do boring stuff sometimes. You've got to do repetition. Like, you shouldn't always be looking at an Instagram coach doing a crazy exercise that looks cool and thinking I should be doing that. If you want to improve in certain areas, repetition is needed. And sometimes that's boring. So having a competition to work towards, I know for myself especially, is very important to have that.
So you publishing like a 12-month calendar, like, hey, this is the month, this is
Yeah.
the competition, sign up here, we'll put you in a team. How does it work?
Yeah, so basically what we normally do, we have like a calendar of like events coming up, internal, like birthday party, night out, Halloween. We go big on the fancy dress session. And then we have external comps of what we're going to be entering through the year. And then we'll put it on our Facebook group, build some interest. A few people will start signing up. Then we'll create a WhatsApp group for that event. And then people just get FOMO and more, including me, and more people just book up and just get caught up in it.
How many of you went to High Rocks in Rotterdam?
That was only me and Joe. That was a birthday present to me. Cheers. But it was good.
Do you think you'll plug some European tours in like next
Defo.
year?
Yeah. Well, we've got
High
a lot
Rocks
of
in
our
Barcelona sounds pretty cool, right?
Sounds great.
That sounds like a good holiday.
Well, there's it. Joe was saying there's one in Italy that's outside. It's the first one outside.
Oh, okay.
So
That's
that
cool.
for me sounds cool. But
Yeah.
we've got a lot of members going to Dublin.
Nice.
So Dublin, when's that? October.
I will be there.
Yeah.
Oh, we will be, yeah.
I can't
That's
go.
right.
I'm having a baby. I don't know if you know, by the way.
I do.
Oh, amazing.
You do, yeah.
What's the scariest thing about running a business?
Failing, and it's not so much failing. It's making sure like you're making the right decisions. I think what I'm trying to be really proactive with is making decisions quickly, because I know even if I make the wrong decision, I can course correct it at some point. And generally, I don't make many wrong decisions, and that's not like me being big-headed. I just feel that I trust my gut, and like I want things to work. I want things to be going in the right direction.
If you were speaking to someone now and they are going through the process that you were, they are planning on opening a gym, what are the things they need to have in place to give them the best possible chance of success?
Location, for one. A good team behind them, because when you go from coach to running a gym, all of a sudden there's all these other things you have to do that you never had to do when you're working in someone else's facility. There's a lot of other things you don't factor in. Finances, whatever you think it's going to cost, it's going to cost more. It just is. It's going to cost more.
Tracking your numbers properly, because so many people don't track their numbers.
No, that's something I've massively improved in the last 2 years, and even in the last 6 months, improved again. I know everything. I know the numbers. I know how many people are leaving, how many people are joining. I know what our monthly revenue is. I know a lot more than I did a couple of years ago. I wasn't tracking anything at all.
What's the biggest mistake you've made in your entrepreneurial career so far?
Not opening the gym earlier.
Is it?
Yeah.
You wish you'd done it sooner?
Yeah, because I'd probably be on gym 3 by now.
And is that the plan moving forward, to go for gym 2, to go to gym 3?
Yeah, we're looking for number 2 now.
It goes back to what you said earlier, though, making decisions quicker.
Yeah, make decisions faster, because in this industry, so many people procrastinate. And I don't mean like gym owners, I mean potential members. Like they just, I'm going to think about it. Well, you are making a decision. If you're thinking about it, that's a no. You're making a decision. Because most people who go away and think about it, and you'll have this from gym owners trying to sign them up, most of them ain't coming back. So they have made a decision, even though they're not telling themselves they've made a decision. They've made a decision not to do it.
Well, fear holds people back, and ultimately, if we break that down, it's that internal dialogue that they are saying, either as a gym owner who doesn't want to sign up to FMA, or as a consumer who doesn't want to sign up to fitness. They're talking themselves out of it, because it's a bad habit that they've acquired probably from being a young child all the way through teenagers into their adult life. Is they slow to make decisions, they talk themselves out of everything, and ultimately just go around this massive hamster wheel, not getting progression either with their fitness or with their business, because it's lack of self-doubt.
And it's sad, really. But if there's a way you can break that, like read some books, like look at someone who you'd like to emulate in whatever industry you're in, read what they did, see how they did things, and try and break that cycle, then the world's your oyster. You can do anything you want to do.
Basically, just jump, and that parachute will
Trust
open.
yourself. I remember working years ago, I worked with my first ever business coach. And compared to what you guys do, it's like chalk and cheese. Like you guys are on a different level to that person. But I remember I invested a couple of £1,000 at the time. And talking to Hannah, I paid it over the phone, and I was like, what have I just done? I thought, oh my God, I've been ripped off. And whilst that guy didn't give me anywhere near what you guys have gave me, that was the start of where I am now, because I took action. I paid the money, and it made me take action. I was doing a degree at the same time, so when I think back, I don't even know how I did it. But all of a sudden, I was like reframing how I position myself as a coach. That's led me to here now.
That process of putting some skin in the game was what actually shifted your mindset.
You pay attention. That's it. When you pay attention. I'll nick that off Pete Cohen.
I like that. Within the business, what's one thing you wish you learned sooner?
Don't be scared to have debt.
That must, when you had all that that investment, was there a lot of pressure at the time? And how did you deal with that? And how does it feel? How do you think about it now?
Well, you're taught as a kid, like, oh, money's the root of all evil, and you've heard all these sayings. I don't need to go into them, but for a business, that's different. It's not the same. Like, having debt, which I am in debt for my bounce back loans, has allowed me to generate a monthly income that I would never have been able to generate for this business, which now puts me in a position where we can look at number 2, which means I'll probably take on a bit more debt, but I have no issues about doing that now, because it's investment, it's not debt.
It's funny how people will happily go into debt of 300, 400, 500, 600,000 for a house, but then they will not take that leap of faith and go into debt to get their dream business. And
it's not debt. You need to probably reframe how you see debt. Debt is like when the bailiffs are coming for you because you haven't paid off X, Y, Z. Borrowing money to move your business forward is an investment. It's not debt.
So people listening to this, they'll be like, oh, that's all well and good. I understand the mindset part. I understand the financial element of acquiring finances to open up my dream facility. But I can't acquire a bounce back loan because that's not a thing now. What would you say to them? Where should they potentially look for investment? How should they put together that business plan?
So a lot of the time you can get decent loans from just a high street bank. So if you've been banking with someone for many years, you should talk to them at least, and they can put you in the right direction. There's obviously, you've got companies like Swoop, I know you guys work with as well, that can look outside of the normal circle. And sometimes you will have clients, you will have family, friends that want to see you do well. Like, look at Millie for me. He helped me massively. You've got people in your circle that will push you in the right direction. If going towards opening a gym is something that you think you want to do at some point, maybe you should start looking into these things now. And you don't necessarily need to do it to the level I did for the first one. I think we was in a unique situation coming out of COVID, and I was like a little bit on the back foot because of that. And I just thought, right, yeah, I'm going for this. Because of where we'd been locked down for the last 2 years, it pushed me to push it even harder than I was going to.
I think if you want something enough, you figure out a way to go get it.
Yeah, you'll make it happen. I've learned that.
And the question is, like, people watching this, listening to this, do they want it enough? You know, you have to make that decision. Or do you just want to be comfortable? Do you just want to be an unknown in this industry? Do you just want to train, let's say, 25, 30 clients for the rest of your life? Or do you want to go all in? Do you want to create a legacy, which is what you are doing with the brand that you have built? Do you want to impact more people's lives? Do you want it enough? And that's the question you have to ask yourself, because I guarantee everyone else in your circle will be talking you out of taking that risk to do it. And have to.
They did for the gym. Not everyone, but I had people saying, mate, are you sure you want to do this post-COVID? Are you sure? Even Millie said to me, are you sure? And I said, yes. He went, good. He just wanted to check. But he wasn't trying to talk me out of it. There was people that were saying I was crazy for opening a gym.
How did your wife support you?
She supports me. She knows I'm willing to take risks, I guess. But I didn't. She supported me. She was like, whatever you want to do, it's fine. What's the worst that can happen? Literally, what is the worst that can happen?
Final question before we go ahead and wrap things up. And I haven't pre-warned you about this, so I'm sorry. If you were Prime Minister for a day and you could make a change in the fitness industry or just general population to make people feel healthier, fitter, happier, if Prime Minister for a day, what would that change be?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I guess for me, it would be like going back to schools and educating kids on food and to understand it a little bit better and like understand the impact of what certain foods, if you're not doing exercise, has on you, because obesity is a big problem now, and it almost comes from the parents not really understanding what they should be eating. Clearly, you can see that. And then, like, you know, I think there was a stat I saw the other day, like, most obese kids are only obese purely because it's in their family, where if you've got guys who look after themselves, eat properly, 90% of those kids won't be overweight.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, I think we need to do something, because it's like, don't get me wrong, for the gym industry, we're not going to be going out of business anytime soon. We're in a position where people are the fittest that they've ever been. They understand the fitness space better than they ever have, but also obesity is higher than it's ever been. So I think we need to do something to tackle it, because the cost on the NHS, for one thing, is unsustainable.
Well, first of all, hats off, because like relaying this journey, it's awesome to see how far you've come in the 5 years that
Almost.
we have been working together. So congratulations. And, you know, what you've created is, you know, at the top of the industry, and other gym owners should be, you know, looking at what you've done and taking inspiration, because you've created something very special. Can't wait to see location 2 and onwards. Obviously, you're looking at the moment.
Coming soon.
We didn't discuss that.
No.
The baby's on the way. So and this, we didn't touch upon this as well. Like, you know, you've got the baby coming in
September.
Cool. And you're in a position where, like, you don't have to work, right? You can take some time off.
Yeah.
You've got the reoccurring revenue coming in. Of course, and every business owner wants to work and wants to get back in there as soon as possible. But, you know, you're in a position financially, you're in a position with the systems in the business where you can take time off with the baby and the wife in September. And, you know, it's been awesome to see your journey, and just want to say thank you for being a fantastic client of Fitness Marketing Agency.
Pleasure. Thanks to you guys as well, because, like, I wouldn't be where I am now without your support. So you've helped me really push my business on. So anyone sitting on the fence for FMA, as long as you're not in my location, off you go.
If you do enjoy the podcast, please make sure to subscribe on whatever channel you are listening to. Make sure to share us on social media, on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. If you do enjoy the podcast, it really helps us. And again, I hope you enjoy the show.